the other players have a single lane to themselves. And the other thing he has to make sure of is that he does not allow Stork to take those island expos. So I think this is the biggest problem with Monty Hall, is those island expos in Terran versus Protoss, because normally speaking, dropships aren't part of the average Terran build versus Protoss, and Stork now just setting that probe up to the north through his mineral line to just send it through, and I think he's going to probably start a Nexus up here. That would be my guess, and it does look like he's so Stork is fast expanding. Firebat Hero needs to do the same as far as I'm concerned, and if he doesn't, I think he'll pay the price for it. And he certainly doesn't look to be cheesing in any way from what Firebat Hero has done thus far. And Firebat Hero, I think Firebat Hero is going to be fast expanding. I think Firebat Hero is just deciding where he's going to build that command center, and it does look like he's going to be building it in the middle. And Firebat, so both players fast expanding. Both players going for command center and nexus respectively before going for any other buildings. And my stream just buffering for a second there, unfortunately, guys. But I think okay, it's back now. It's just looking at Stork's nexus, and I think the fact that I think we are going to be in for a long macro game. I think it's interesting that they're in different lanes, their expansions. So that's obviously going to change the way the game is played a little bit. If they were in the same lane, we would probably favor the Terran a little bit more to be able to push and defend at the same time. But the fact that there are different lanes are going to play a little bit into the Protoss players' hands, in my opinion. And as I said, I think the fact that a shuttle gives you so much, and now Stork is scouting into Firebat Hero's main. I think the fact that Firebat Hero hasn't scouted at all is worrying to me. He's being a little bit too confident in setting up that command center. If Stork had been going for some kind of a proxy build or some kind of a rush, then Firebat Hero would have been in deep trouble. If Stork had gone for a proxy outside that mineral line, then I think Firebat Hero would have been in deep trouble. And Firebat Hero being a little bit careless, in my opinion, not scouting. And that is one of the things that separates great players from good players, that separates S-class from A-class. It is the awareness and the scouting and making sure they know exactly what's going on the map at any given moment in time. But back to that issue of dropships and shuttles, and I do feel that, generally speaking, especially on a map like this, in Terran versus Protoss play, dropships are not part of the average Terran build, and to actually invest resources and technology in that does change the balance of the economy between the two races a little bit. And the fact of the matter is that a shuttle is very much, and it looks like Stork might try and build a pylon here to just slow Firebat Hero down. That would be brilliant by Stork. I think he should just put a pylon down at that expansion. That would slow Firebat Hero down no end. Both players equal in terms of economy right now. Stork, though, has mined out those minerals to open up a path to his nexus, but Firebat Hero is mining those minerals as well to open up his path. And Stork, with that pro position, they're just going to try and slow Firebat Hero down a little bit. And Firebat Hero, not knowing what Stork has gone, not scouting, is actually putting up that engineering bay very quickly, because he doesn't know, and he's also putting up that academy to try and counter some kind of a tech rush, like possibly a Templar drop, a Dark Templar drop, because he hasn't scouted. And this is why, if he had scouted, if he had invested a couple of SCVs in scouting, he would have been able to macro a lot heavier and not be so worried about getting that engineering bay up, and not be so worried about getting that academy up, because Stork is nowhere near being able to deliver a drop at the moment in time. And Firebat Hero building a second barracks, and I believe that Firebat Hero is surrendering the advantage here to Stork by going for that strategy, by not scouting before. And Firebat Hero now with a couple of Marines, Stork is sending a single Zealot out, and that's going to be able to slow Firebat Hero down a little bit in terms of his economy. And after that last game, Stork isn't aware of what Firebat Hero has or doesn't have, because Firebat Hero hasn't scouted, so he's not aware of what Stork has in his base, of what Stork is planning or what Stork is doing, and I think that's a decided disadvantage for Firebat Hero. He has finally gotten that command center down. He planted it down to the side to get rid of that probe first, but I mean, really, it's pretty even at this point. Stork is getting that robotics facility up, but Firebat Hero should have his turrets up more than enough in time to be able to defend this. He doesn't have a lot of ground forces though, and he's going to need to start putting up that factory. And very interesting strategy from Firebat Hero, putting up his third barracks now, and that's just a little bit weird. It just doesn't make sense to me why he's doing that, especially since Stork is able to scout his main without too much hassle. And considering the difficulty of maneuvering a large ground force on this map until those minerals are mined out, I'm not sure if this is the smartest move on the planet by Firebat Hero. I'm not sure what he's trying to achieve here. But as I was commenting earlier, dropship play isn't standard for Protoss on this map, and Stork has mined that middle mineral line out, so that's going to give Firebat Hero a little bit of a chance. But Reavers and Dragoons versus Medics and Marines, I'm not sure how good and effective that's going to be. Just blinked for a second there. But obviously Stork is aware that Firebat Hero is producing Medic and Marines, and Firebat Hero now with the fourth barracks, does he think he's playing versus Zerg? I mean, has anyone told Firebat Hero, after having watched the last two matches, I've got to think that Firebat Hero is thinks he's playing against Zerg and not against... And Stork has gotten that probe inside, and he's scouted the 4th barracks, so Stork knows precisely what's coming, and I think Stork is going to have more than enough to be able to cope with anything. He just has to build a Reaver in his base. He's going to be getting that... he's starting up a couple of gateways straight away to counter that, realizing that Stork is trying to overpower him earlier on. He's got that robotics facility almost complete as well. He's going to have a Reaver up and running before any of those medics and marines come out. And Firebat Hero throwing his games away. He threw away that game on Loki. It looks to me like he's throwing this game away here as well. Very anticlimactic. Brilliant micro by Stork, microing those Dragoons, trying to slow Firebat Hero down from advancing towards his base. Firebat Hero needs to push out, and Stork with brilliant micro in defense already has heard. And Firebat Hero's got stim guns. Firebat Hero pushing down. Finally, he's only got a small group of medic and marines. He's got reinforcements pouring in. If Stork can find a way of slowing down those reinforcements somehow, he has got the shuttle. If he can drop behind Firebat Hero's lines, even a couple of Ziloths, that'll be enough to slow down the reinforcements for Firebat Hero. And Stork did do that very effectively on this map. I can't remember who it was against. It was against a Terran player. I'm not sure it was. I think it was 910, but I'm not sure. And it was on Monty Hall. But that was brilliant by Stork. Firebat Hero finally has enough units coming down. I don't think the timing is going to be critical here. I don't think he's going to be able to do it in time before that Reaver pops for Stork. And Firebat Hero is this is going to be win or lose right here. And I think this was very risky by Firebat Hero. He's playing Protoss versus Protoss and not versus Zerg. And once that Reaver pops, it's going to be pretty much curtains, you feel, for Firebat Hero. And he hasn't gotten the right tech. He hasn't got the right units. He's not going to be able to defend in the long term. And Firebat Hero now going for that island expansion. And again, you see, Stork is the one with the shuttle, yet Firebat Hero is building that command center and going to float it over to the island expansion. I'm not sure how he plans on defending it once Stork scouts it, which I'm sure Stork will. Probably not, because Stork will try and anticipate the scout, but Stork will probably... And Firebat Hero just trying to get a flank here. He stimmed those marines. Stork, though, does have that Reaver. The Reaver shot goes off. The first shot only kills a couple of marines. Stork trying to focus that Reaver down. Second Reaver shot goes off. A lot of the marines get killed. The shuttle is down. The Reaver is going to die, but Firebat Hero has lost all of his medics and marines in the process, and that Reaver did the necessary damage, and now he is in trouble. 6 Dragoons. He has got that bunker built. I'm not sure how long that bunker is going to last. Was it 6 Dragoons? 6 Dragoons versus 5 marines. Huge trouble here for Firebat Hero. He's going to have to sacrifice his economy yet again, and 4 more Dragoons pouring forth from Stork. Stork pumping from 4 gateways, and this again, Stork taking a decisive advantage in this game. He's got a second Reaver. Unfortunately for him, he lost that shuttle, so he has no way of reinforcing his units, but that bunker is getting taken down. Stork focusing on the bunker. The bunker goes down, and now these marines are in huge trouble here. He's got a single medic, and there's no way. You can't fight. I mean, you can barely fight Hyderless with medic and marines, and I just don't know what Firebat Hero is thinking. He's almost playing like 910, trying to use silly strategies that make no sense versus a Protoss player, and just trying to kind of wish with blind luck that they'll pay off for him, and they haven't thus far. And Stork comfortably microing those Dragoons, taking out all of those SCVs. He has built a starport probably to try and get a couple of dropships to defend that, but he's lost so many SCVs, and just absolutely silly play by Firebat Hero. I just don't see how he thought that this was actually going to pay off for him. He has bought himself a little bit of time to get those 2 bunkers up, and he has managed to push Stork back, but Stork has got a lot more Dragoons out now. He's got that Reaver. He's going to be coming with that Reaver. He's got a shuttle up as well. Stork probably waiting for a second Reaver before he goes for that drop to finish off this game. He doesn't want to give Firebat Hero a chance to bunker down and rebuild his economy, but Firebat Hero in dire straits here. He's lost most of his SCVs at his expo in the middle lane, and just deep trouble. He's got a siege tank out. I think he's still researching his siege tech. That's not going to be enough to hold. Firebat Hero will be able to... Stork will be able to drop at will in his main. Stork can just drop that Reaver in Firebat Hero's main and take out all of his SCVs, and Stork with 3 expansions as well at this point in time. Firebat Hero does have that island expansion, which is going to give him a little bit of economy, but that island expansion might not be enough at this stage of the game. And Stork actually going up the top lane. I missed that. I thought Stork was going up the middle lane, but it looks like he's going up both lanes, and I'm not sure if Firebat Hero has opened up that pathway in his mineral line at the top lane, because if he has, he's going to be in huge trouble here. My stream just buffering for a second, and Stork going up the top lane, and does look like there's a path there, so Firebat Hero is gonna die now. There's no other word for it. He's gonna get pincered. He's not gonna be able to hide behind those bunkers, and Stork is now in his main. This is GG. 2-0 to Stork. Absolute dominance here by Stork, and I have to say, poor play by Firebat Hero. Poor choice of strategy by Firebat Hero, throwing the game away. I mean, he must think he's playing against a Zerg player. He must have thought accidentally or erroneously that Stork is planning on Stork is and he does look very unhappy there, so I don't, maybe he's not throwing the game away on purpose, but maybe he's thought that Stork has switched his race to Zerg for some reason, even though the evidence before his eyes will tell him otherwise. And if you were a fan of conspiracy theories, you would have to conclude right now that Samson Khan have made a tactical decision for Stork to advance in this matchup to the finals, since he would have, in my opinion, the best chance of defeating Bisu, and they've decided to conserve their resources. And maybe, if you were a conspiracy theorist, you could argue that Stork actually has not had to practice Protoss versus Terran all this time. He's just been practicing his Protoss versus Protoss because he knew that Firebat Hero would be throwing this game away against him. But I guess that remains to be seen, what Firebat Hero can produce in the next game, but certainly his unstandard play has not paid off for him thus far, and he's thrown these 2 games again. And both MSL semi-finals thus far proving to be absolutely anticlimactic in their scope. And finally, GG by Firebat Hero, Stork wins.